The following video was filmed in the middle of the night by Jane, a grandmother who says she's been worried about strange things happening in her daughter's house. Before this night, she's been hearing rumors about the house, and now she's starting to connect all the happenings to the rumors. During one of her short visits to her daughter's place, the neighbor told Jane that the property was built where an old farmhouse used to stand, one that burned to the ground in the 1940s. No one knows if anyone died in that fire, but locals say strange lights have been seen on the land for decades. One night, her youngest grandson was asleep in bed, but what the camera caught is something she swears she's never seen a baby do before. Some viewers said it was nothing unusual, that kids sometimes react this way in their sleep, but others weren't so quick to brush it off, especially after noticing the boy's reaction. He wasn't just turning, he screamed, cried, and according to Jane, it took a long time before she could calm him down. And that's not all. Jane's daughter, the boy's mother, has been complaining for months about unsettling things in that house. She says toys sometimes start playing on their own, even when the batteries are removed. She's also woken up to faint scratching sounds coming from inside the walls, only for them to stop the moment she turns on the light. On 2 different nights, she swears she heard footsteps in the hallway when everyone was asleep, and once she even found the kitchen chair moved from where she had left it the night before. According to Jane and her daughter, nothing in that house has ever made her feel safe. So was this simply a child having a bad dream, or did the camera capture something far more disturbing? I'll let you be the judge. In this next clip, Clay is sitting in his living room late at night, working on some research when he hears something strange.
Alright, so that right there is my basement door, right? I'm downstairs by myself. It's like 4:53 in the morning, and I just started hearing that. I have no fucking idea what it is, but I'm down here by myself. Everybody's sleeping, just me. Ain't the first time I heard this shit either.
He's been hearing this same knock since he first moved in nearly 6 years ago. Always at random hours, always from somewhere inside the house, and he's used to it by now. But the next night was different. This time, after the knock, something else happens. Watch closely.
Alright, so I was hearing that knocking again, right? Except this time it's coming from that wall right there, which is my downstairs bathroom. And after a while I started hearing tapping on the bathroom door as well. So, what else? Record. See if anything else happens. I mean, I hear the shit every night. It's okay, that's never happened before. Now I have to go check it out, otherwise you guys are gonna be like, oh, it's probably somebody in there. Let's go see. I'll show you guys right now. Ain't nobody in this motherfucker right here. And it is empty. Yeah, no, that one was weird. That's never actually happened before. That's new, at least.
When he posted the footage online, most people focused on what they claimed to hear at the very end. A faint hissing sound that many missed the first time until they replayed it with headphones. Clay didn't think much of it at first until viewers started asking about where he lives. When he told them he's in South Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the reaction changed. People in the comments claimed the area has a history of old houses with dark pasts, and that South Milwaukee in particular has more than its share of hauntings. This place is tied to several local stories, but there's one in particular about a man who disappeared in the 1950s. It's in the 1950s, last seen walking into a house on Clay Street. The very next day, the knock returned, but this time he decided to finally check.
Alright, you guys are in luck. You wanted it, right? There it is. Ain't me knocking on shit. Ain't nobody down here, right? You hear it? Now, you guys are gonna say, oh, it's somebody in there. It's an animal. Nope. Let's go. So who's down here? Nobody. What the f? Nobody down here? Nobody downstairs? I don't want to hear none of that bullshit about, oh, it's somebody. Yeah, buddy, we hear that shit every single night.
Just as he reached the staircase, you'll notice he stopped and there was another knock. And if you turn up your volume, you'll hear footsteps. By now, viewers were taking him seriously, but their concern grew even more after Clay posted another video. Clay is filming a fitness video when strange noises interrupt him.
And letting my body acclimate to, you know, the physical fitness of it. That's weird. It sounded like a door closed. Hang on. I have to investigate. Oh yeah, I mentioned this in one of my other videos, but this door does not open. That's our HVAC system. As a renting tenant, I'm not allowed to open that. Do I really need to show you under the bed? You'd be surprised at what people think. Like, oh, somebody snuck under the bed, or, you know, hard to get an angle. Completely empty. But I still hear shit. That sounds like what I heard, actually. I'm gonna play that back for you guys. Physical fitness of it. Let's see. Yeah. Nah, I know you all heard that. What that was. This has fallen off before. But this has never fallen off by itself. Like you would have to force that off. It was weird. That scared the shit out of me. It was so loud. Yeah. The fuck, see?
You'll notice the house looks different. Apparently he left his old haunted house, but it's starting to look like whatever was in his old house followed him. Clay later revealed something he hadn't mentioned before. Back in his old basement, he had an antique wooden Ouija board tucked away on a shelf. It was there when he moved in, and he always joked about trying it out, but never did. The moment he mentioned that board, the comments exploded, and now people are wondering if he also brought it with him to the new house. Some viewers believe the board may have been a spirit vessel, a binding tool for something dark, and if Clay accidentally moved it with his things, it might have brought whatever was attached right along with him. Clay hasn't confirmed if he moved with the Ouija board, but here's where it gets even stranger. In his new apartment, there's a locked door he's not allowed to open, and it's even part of the rental agreement. The strangest part is, he wasn't told why, and no one mentioned what's inside. Some speculate it could be a sealed room where something terrible happened in the past. Others believe the landlord possibly knows something and the door was locked to trap something inside. Paranormal or not, the thought of an unexplained locked room just a few feet away makes the whole situation even creepier. In this next clip, Clay is sitting in his living room late at night, working on some research when he hears something strange. Clip. He's been hearing this same knock since he first moved in nearly 6 years ago. Always.
Estaba esperando la comida acá afuera. Mira, y ahí está claro. La verdad no sé si capaz que hay un gato o no sé si está mi gato, pero se empezaron a mover todas las plantas. Amigo, están cerrando el pasillo. Se hizo la concha. Se ve claro. Lo tiene. La concha, no había luz. ¿Qué mierda le pasa a algo? Amigo, se veía claro esa cagada.
At first he concludes it's a cat, but when he looks around, there's absolutely nothing. No animal, no movement, no sign of anything. But it gets worse. He begins to hear a slow, deliberate whistle, almost like someone was trying to get his attention, or worse, lure him somewhere. He follows the sound, looking around until he spots a figure sitting right on top of the gate, completely still. He was extremely terrified, but going inside wasn't even an option. The moment he turns, the lights in his apartment start flickering, flashing on and off, like someone else was already in there. He later revealed something that raised even more eyebrows. Since moving into that apartment, weird things have been happening, but only on Wednesdays, not Thursdays, not weekends, only Wednesdays. Now this might sound random until you realize that in some regional superstitions, Wednesday is known as the veiled day, when the barrier between the living and the dead is weakest. It's been over 5 months now, and the pattern has not changed. The next Wednesday, around 3 AM, he hears noises again and gets up to check. Watch this.
Son las 3 de la mañana. Como ven, perdón los nervios, pero como ven se están moviendo las macetas solas. Literalmente acá lo están viendo. No hay viento, no hay nada. Son las únicas 2 macetas que se están... ¡La concha de su... Nada más se va a cortar la luz. Mira, ¿qué es eso? La concha de su... ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? La concha de su... La concha de su... Se está cortando la luz sola. Es la segunda vez que me pasa lo de la luz. ¿Qué carajo es eso? Eso. ¿Qué mierda? ¿Qué mierda es eso? La concha de su... Se fue. La concha de su...
The vases were moving like something was touching it, and if it was the wind, the other flowers around would be moving too, but they're not. The flickering didn't make matters any better, and he could go back to sleep, but you see, the next Wednesday was worse.
No llegué a grabar. No llegué a grabar. Estaba durmiendo, no sé ni qué hora es. Se empezó... Ay, carajos. Carajos. ¿Qué carajos? Te toca la mano ya.
His bedroom door handle starts moving like someone's messing with it, and when he enters the bathroom, you can see what looks like the human hands, but the second he pulls the curtain, there's nothing. He doesn't have a roommate, he doesn't know why it's always on Wednesdays. Until now, no one has been able to figure out what's going on, and like other videos, this remains a mystery. For more hunting videos, subscribe to this channel now. The following clip comes from a man who had recently moved to Ireland and rented what seemed like a completely ordinary space. But ever since moving in, he's had one unnerving experience after another. Strange noises, flickering lights, and now something far more disturbing. One afternoon, while washing his hands in the kitchen, this happens.
The drawer opened, some stuff came out. We've got knives. They come out of the knife rack over there. Okay. Right, well, it looks like I will be uploading this after all. What does it look like? A K-Rex thing. It's like a hand washing deal. Yeah. Oh. Sorry about that, guys. I pushed the record button as I was moving out the way. Nothing else has happened. You haven't missed anything. Is that all you're gonna do? Is that all you're gonna do? Yeah, I would prefer you did stuff on camera.
A drawer suddenly opens on its own, and a chaotic spill follows. Cutlery, random items, and most especially, several sharp knives. What began as a simple hand-washing routine took a terrifying turn, and the incident was alarming enough that when he shared the footage online, viewers pointed out that any spirit willing to throw sharp, dangerous objects usually isn't just trying to get your attention, it's often considered a sign of hostility, the kind that escalates if ignored. After this particular day, the man stopped posting, and that silence only makes this clip more unsettling. Until more information surfaces, this one stays a mystery. This next video comes from a woman named Keisha, who describes herself as a wife, a mother, and in her own words, someone living in a haunted house. At first, she says it was kind of amusing, sharing a space with what she believed was a harmless ghost, but over time, things stopped being fun. The activity intensified, and that's when they set up cameras to monitor the house 24/7. There were nights they heard strange voices, times their cat would play with something completely invisible, and Keisha claims there were even moments when she and her husband would be violently pushed out of bed by an unseen force. One quiet Saturday morning, this happened.
Baby. Keisha. Keisha. Baby. Keisha.
If you listen closely, you'll hear someone calling her name, but it wasn't until they reviewed the footage later that they noticed the voice was off, and her husband confirmed he never said her name. That alone was enough to creep them out, but what happened next was even more confusing and unsettling.
Are you gonna stop now? Keep going. Don't stop. Ish. It's happening again. Something's playing with Ash's tail. Right in front of me. Yeah. I can't. It's in my bag somewhere. Who are you? I'm like, oh my God, I'm like shaking a little. I'm just sitting here and I see his tail flipping. And I'm like, what in the hell? And I'm like, oh crap, it's happening again. Let me get my camera. I think they stopped now. If it starts again, I'll start recording again.
The camera captures the cat sleeping, except for one thing. The tail suddenly starts moving, as if something is playing with it. Keisha believes it's the ghost, the same presence that's been slowly making itself known over time. But not everyone agrees. Some cat owners say it's normal and probably just a dream reflex or a simple muscle twitch. But you see, there's one thing no one's been able to explain. Who or what whispered her name that morning? This next clip is about Xiaolong, a man who had just lost his job and was desperate to get back on his feet. So when a friend mentioned an open position at a quiet old Chinese restaurant, he didn't hesitate. Most people might have looked up the place first, read the reviews, maybe checked its history, but for Xiaolong, resuming immediately was all that mattered. On his very first night shift, this happens. Watch closely. There's something that looks like an umbrella floating, but it doesn't stop there. Objects begin shifting, moving entirely on their own, and the strangest part, no one else was in the room. When Xiaolong showed the footage to his friend, they finally decided to dig into the history of the place, and what they found was unsettling. Online forums were filled with rumors about the building, with unconfirmed whispers of strange deaths, wandering spirits, and previous employees who quit without notice. His friend is still looking for a logical explanation, but so far, nothing adds up. So was this a ghost or something else? You decide. In this next video, it's 11 PM when Shelby's dog starts acting up again, pacing, staring into empty space, and growling low like something's there. But no one is. This isn't the first time. In fact, it's been happening every single night for the past 3 weeks. And each time Shelby searches for a logical explanation, she finds nothing. Have a look at what she deals with every night.
What the f are you staring at? Dude. Stop. You're creeping me. Stop it. Stop it. Is it the Samsung thing? No, chill. Stop. Bruh. Ooh. What the f is it? What the fuck, dude? the fuck is it? What is your problem? I'm standing where you're barking. I turned the TV on. What is it? What do you see? Not even the cat is reacting, dude. What is your problem?
The dog keeps barking like it's watching someone, or something, besides salads move across the room. But what truly unsettles Shelby, and many who've watched the clip, is how her cat, resting just a few feet away, remains completely unbothered. And that's what has viewers disturbed, because cats are usually the first to react to subtle movement or energy, so what would cause one animal to panic, while the other sits in eerie silence? Shelby posted the video hoping for answers, but what she got were more questions, and if you caught the final moment of the clip, the look on the dog's face will make you start to wonder if there was someone else the dog saw as a threat in the room. Ghost or not, this footage is pretty strange. Now, in this next clip, Kyle and his fiancée had been dealing with aggressive banging on walls, the unsettling sound of children laughing when no one else was around, and objects moving right in front of them. They tried to ignore it, until one night, while getting ready for bed, things escalated. Watch.
Let's go smoke. Damn. I don't think I should have burned that book, yo. I keep hearing something.
The footage seems ordinary at first until you listen closely. You'll hear distorted whispers, and it's not coming from either of them. Also, if you watch closely, you'll notice the strange movement of the cat, like it's tracking something they can't see. Moments later, Kyle follows the sound, that knocking he's been hearing for days, and opens a door with a distinctive creak, but viewers heard a voice, buried in the audio. Still, the most unsettling part isn't the knock or the whisper, it's what Kyle says in the clip about a book he burned. Apparently, a few weeks before the haunting began, Kyle found an old yellowed Raggedy Ann book tucked in the back of a forgotten closet, but something about it felt wrong, so he burned it. After that night, everything changed. Now Kyle's convinced that by burning the book, he didn't destroy whatever was tied to it, he released it. Some still argue there's a logical explanation, but after watching this clip, can you really say that for sure? In this next clip, Jane is home alone when she hears an odd noise coming from the basement. At first, she brushes it off, but the sound grows louder and more deliberate. Out of curiosity, she decides to check. What her camera catches down there is enough to give anyone second thoughts about going into basements alone.
I was home alone, and I heard a noise in my basement. So I went to check it out. Did you see that? Help me.
Aside from the strange movement of objects, what unsettled Jane the most was that the basement didn't look the way she left it. Items were out of place, and Jane hasn't had any visitors in weeks. But the creepiest detail came later, when viewers began pointing something out. There were too many things in her basement. Jane later admitted she's an avid thrift collector, and frequents estate sales, yard sales, antique markets, you name it. Many believe she didn't just bring home furniture, but brought home energy and spirits attached to items discarded long ago. Because when objects with history go untouched for years, then suddenly change hands, what's attached to them doesn't always let go. But whether that's what's happening here is impossible to prove, so I'll let you decide. This next video comes from a mother in the Netherlands who had been noticing something strange happening in her home for a while. One night, her daughter began crying again, something that had become oddly frequent, and as she got up to check on her, she noticed this. It might seem like a simple electrical issue, except for one thing. This has happened more than once, and it only seems to happen at night, always around the time her daughter starts getting unusually restless. So is it just faulty wiring, or is something else trying to get her attention? I'll let you be the judge of this too. In this next clip, Frank, fresh out of college and eager to start a new chapter, finally moves into his own place. One afternoon, he decides to give his parents a virtual tour of his new space, but in the middle of that call, this happens.
So I was doing a walkthrough of my new place, and this
we've got
happened.
nearly everything set up nice. Microwave, fridge. The old owner's left this weird phone here. Anyway, it's going to be the dining area. I haven't set it quite up yet. Oh. Okay, yep, moving out.
Without any contact, the drawers and cupboards suddenly swing open, and that alone was unsettling, but viewers notice something even worse. If you pause and look closely at the table, there's a mannequin head just sitting there, and then it suddenly turns on its own, staring directly at Frank. Frank later explained the mannequin, along with a few other odd items, had been left behind by the previous tenant, and although he kept them out of respect, after this incident, he's seriously reconsidering. His mum, who witnessed it all on the call, is convinced the house is haunted and she's pushing for a full spiritual cleansing. His dad, on the other hand, thinks it's all just nerves and imagination, so now Frank is stuck in the middle, caught between logic and fear, and living with a mannequin that might be more than just plastic. If you were in Frank's shoes, who would you listen to? For more hunting videos, subscribe to the channel now.